Work on.
You guys want to shot here?
I can, yes.
Tell me your name.
Hey guys, there's not that many of us. Come up closer. Come on.
I'm scary.
Good morning.
Your hands are freezing.
That's because I just got them bucked up. I've got them
Does
bucked
it? Can you only say it with an accent?
That's the way I say it.
What kind of accent is that anyway?
That's my Idaho redneck.
Hey, are the guys downstairs going to come up, or are they having a separate meeting?
They're probably having a separate meeting until they come.
Okay, maybe just go let them know that we're getting started. Hey, Brittany, Bonnie, and Pedro, how are you, man? Jana, who's investment training?
Sorry, it's me, it's Karen. I was just gonna switch. I forgot to get out of this other Zoom login. Sorry about that.
Hi, Karen.
Hi.
Hi, we got more people registered that'll probably jump on Zoom. I didn't realize we were already at the top of the hour, so we're going to get started anyway. Building time management skills. We all need time management skills. So thanks for being here. This is awesome. We're excited to have Braundie Parry here with Fidelity National Title. This is your first time in our office teaching, right?
I did, yeah.
All right, first of many times, I hope. So we're excited to have you here. So there is a link in the chat. If you can, let me share my screen real quick and I'll show you what it looks like. If you can print that out, that would be great. If not, follow along, use just a notepad or whatever. Let me find mine. Share screen. Okay, you guys see building time management skills chart? Perfect. Thanks, Leah. So I'm going to leave this up here so she can kind of just refer to it, but that is the link. Unfortunately, the header got removed when we made that a clickable link for you to print out. So screenshot this for me so you have Braundie's contact information. And maybe somebody, Leah, could you do me a favor? Could you type out her name and phone number and email in the chat for me? And then people in that come in can just copy that. That'd be awesome because it won't be on your printed form. Awesome. Okay, Braundie, come up and finish the introduction. Tell us a little bit about yourself and let's rip into
It's
it.
kind of funny because I'm talking to the screen and to people, right?
Yeah. Well, talk to the people that are here. We love you guys, but come in person next time. We're actually gonna have lunch later, and we have more fun than you guys by yourself. So anyway, next time, come in person. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, you guys. I'm really excited to be here, and I love seeing familiar faces, so it's even more fun when I get to do that. You're going to notice that there's some different branding on here. So some of the stuff says Vanguard, some of it says Fidelity. And the reason why is because I'm currently Vanguard, and we're switching to Fidelity. It's just taking some long time to get all the new changes. We started this process back in the middle of January, and moving 300 employees over from one company to the other, it's been a feat in itself. So you guys, when you guys change brokerages, you guys know how hard it is, like even just for signs, right? And we're like software and all the things. So it's taking time. So we're slowly trying to get people used to seeing the Fidelity national stuff. But we're one and the same. So I'm dual licensed at this point right now with both places, but we operate as one and the same. I'm excited to be here because this is a class that I have turned into a class. I don't normally do this as a class. I usually do it as an individual one-on-one coaching session with agents or loan officers that I meet. And the reason why I started doing this as a class is because the Murray Chamber of Commerce actually reached out to me and asked me to teach this class. And I was like, how do you know about me doing this? So one of my good friends, Jen Keuchel, is involved in the Murray Chamber of Commerce, and I've helped her team. So she grows a little bit of a team, and whenever she hires somebody new on her team, she calls me and says, I have this new person, sit down with them. So I go over things with them just to help them get their skills going when it comes to things. And it's funny because I don't feel like I'm this person that's a big time management like person that's really awesome. But I've come to the realization that when people come to me and ask me, Braundie, how do you do what you do every day? Because I have 6 kids. And I had 5 kids for a long time by myself when I was single, working full-time, running kids around, all the things. And one of my amazing friends who is an agent, he came to me, he's like, how do you do all the things you do? And I'm like, I don't know, I just do, right? I just have to do it. Because we just do as parents and as moms and whatnot. So I took a step back and I'm like, I really do have my crap together. Meaning I have a plan and I have a knowing of what I'm going to do every single day without realizing, right? Because having 5 kids from age here to here, you have to balance your time really well. And at night, I had a very good structured routine with my kids. And I was like, it's all about routine, right? And knowing what to do and what's next. So when I was just talking to him about that, he goes, you know, that's something you should share with people because they don't, not everybody can do that. And I was like, oh. So anyway, it just kind of became this thing that's supernatural to me. So as when I sit down and when I talk individually with agents or loan officers, or even I actually sat down with the printing company the other day, because he just wanted some help. I always ask what the pain points are, right? So in our day, especially since we're all self-employed in this room, we wake up when we literally don't have a job. Are we going to keep ourselves as an employee today, or are we going to fire ourselves, right? Which is it? So it's all about trying to figure out how to manage your time. So I'm going to ask Michelle, what is it that you struggle with the most when it comes to your day?
Right.
Right, 100%.
What's the second most thing?
Probably just staying on task and finishing one thing before jumping into that.
Right, okay, I like that. Anybody else want to volunteer what their struggles are with their day every day?
Kids' schedules.
Balancing it and juggling the time frame of what you've got going with them, right?
Unplanned interruptions.
Yeah,
Yes.
usually summertime, it's really hard, because when school starts, you get into a certain routine. And summer starts, school is off. It's a little struggle to start a different kind of routine, so.
Yes, I love that. I love that. So we all have the same struggles. They're just different. Some of us manage things a little bit different, and uninterrupted or unexpected interruptions are also one of those things that are very challenging, right? Especially when we have kids or a business or whatnot. So I'm going to try to give you guys some really good, easy tips and tricks to do this. However, I want to talk about personal life first, because our business is how we get paid, but our personal lives and our kids and our spouse and our significant others are the most important part in our life, right? How many of you guys schedule date nights on a regular basis?
No,
We walk on Sunday.
it's not a date night.
Okay, so there's a couple things I'm gonna say. If there's any takeaways from this, it's-
Nobody said yes,
I
right?
know what he said, yes. Well, there
You're
was
right,
one, yes, there was
right,
one
yeah.
yes back there, yes. Okay, yes.
Nice.
So, and the reason why I asked that, and I love to share this story, so I met with a brand new, well, he had been in real estate for a couple of years, and his wife was getting frustrated with him because she never saw him, right? And I sat down and had this conversation with him. And the first thing I asked him, I said, so tell me your relationship status. Are you married, single, whatever? And he told me that he was newly married and he had a baby, right? And I said, well, when do you date your wife? And he goes, what do you mean? And I'm like, oh, honey. So we had that conversation and I said, well, you need to schedule in regular date nights. I'm not saying you have to go on a date every single week, but it's really important to work on your most important relationship, right? And fast forward a couple months, I saw both of them at a client event and he introduced me to his wife and his wife gave me the biggest hug. And she said, you're the reason why I have date nights now. And so for me, I was like, okay, that really works, okay? Some people don't agree with the way I do things because my family comes first. I'm a mom first, I'm a wife first, and then my business falls into place, okay? When I balance my day, when I balance my schedule, when I balance anything, it's how my kids and how my relationship fits first, because that's my most important thing. And everything else works out, right? So I do have a regularly scheduled date night every Saturday night because we had been together for 13 years. We had a little blip where we broke up for a hot minute and we weren't together. And it's because we just disconnected, and raising two separate families and blending families was really hard. And we never got to the point where we were connecting. And so for us, not connecting and not having the relationship that we have and trying to manage how to juggle kids and ex-spouses was like, it was really hard, right? So that's when we decided to start working on things. I'm like, well, date night is the #1 thing that we need to do because that's the only time we connect. Because there's so many times we go throughout the week and I'm like, I've seen you, I talk to you, but we don't connect, right? So having that date night for us is the most important part in our relationship. And I love it because my daughter is 5 and my little boy is 3, and they know Saturday night is date night. Mom, who's watching us? So it's either my 16-year-old son or my best friend's daughter. So it's just, we have a rotation. Okay, so it's important for us. So I printed out this cute and did this cute little sheet because it's one of those things that I have found that makes things really easy to just kind of go through and give you guys some ideas. And you have to tell me on time because if I like get rambling, I'll go forever. So you'll be like, cut it off, okay?
When people stand up and start leaving.
When they start leaving, I'm like, oh, lunch is here, okay, we're done. So there's different things in here. So when you're dealing with time management and managing your time, the best thing you can do is planning and not be too over planned, right? So by planning your day, it helps you with less anxiety and knowing where you're going to go and what you're going to do, right? It increases your confidence and greater freedom. So you can do all the things. So you can manage your kids' schedule. You can manage that. And like I said, my family stuff comes first. Whenever I do my calendar every month, that's what goes in first. Kids' doctor's appointment, kids' soccer games, kids' baseball games, dance, swim lessons, all the things, right? But fortunately for me, that's mostly in the evening, so I don't have to play too much with it during the day, right? And for you guys, I get where it's hard to balance and to juggle because you're dealing with clients in the evening that want to go see homes and different kind of things. So it's just kind of trying to figure out where to work and have your time that's your time, right? So there's myths about time management. Multitasking helps you get more done in less time. Who believes that? I hope really no one, because it really doesn't work. So every single time that you are interrupted or every time you stop a task, it literally takes your brain 15 minutes to switch from one gear to the next. So when you stop what you're doing and then you answer that email or you answer that phone call when you're in your high productive state, you're actually taking away from that state. So stop doing it. She's laughing. She's laughing, right? Yeah.
Doesn't break up your unproductive other stuff.
So another myth is you're not productive unless you don't wake up early. We all can't be magic and wake up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym. I am not a morning person. Do not ask me to wake up before 6 o'clock. So you don't have to get up at the crack of dawn to be productive.
6 o'clock's a morning person.
Well, but don't you get up at 5 or something? What's your?
She's gonna correct you and say 4:30.
Okay, 4:30. Anything before 6 o'clock doesn't exist to me. Right, yes, yes, yes. So another myth, every moment of your day has to be planned. That is not true. You actually want to give yourself room for interruption times for things that come up. Kids get sick or something happens like that, because you've got to have room to move stuff around in your schedule, right? And you have to push through energy slumps. That's not necessarily true. If you're tired and you don't want to work, great. What are you going to do to get out of that, right? Because we all, like I said earlier, we wake up every morning and we're unemployed. We have to employ ourselves. Guys, are you going to fire yourself at the end of the day? There's days I'm like, I'm totally fired. I didn't do my job at all today. So the best thing you can do is push through those energy slumps or figure out something to get you going and get you moving and motivated is what I'm trying to say. So the skills for blocking your times is aligning your focus. Where energy goes, energy flows, to stay positive. So again, when you're working through your day and your schedule, just work on where your focus at. Is if your focus is bringing new business in the door, what does that look like for you, right? What are you doing during the day to do that? Where are you putting that in your day? What does that look like? And then use chunking. Zero in on what you want and start with the non-negotiables. Who in here knows what a non-negotiable item would be for your day?
Wednesday trainings.
There you go. Wednesday trainings, prospecting, thank you cards, setting up appointments to go see listings for showings. What else? What's a non-negotiable? Something that you have to do every day in order to make your business work. That's what a non-negotiable is.
For me, it's checking in with my clients.
Okay. So do you have a time set aside every day that you do that?
No, we're working on this time management thing.
Okay, good. I like it. So, and again, everything in your day doesn't have to be planned, but you have to be able to have things that are your non-negotiables. For me, mine is hitting my top 5 every day. So I have my clients, and I don't know how you guys work yours, but I have my clients categorized based off of their production. I have A, B, C, and D. I hit my A clients every single week, but I have 50 A clients. I can't call 50 people in one day. I mean, I could, but it's not really very realistic, right? So for me, I have 5 clients that I call every single day. So biting things off into small chunks, but that's my non-negotiables. And I do that. I have 5 A clients, 5 B clients, 5 C clients, and 5 D clients. And my D clients, I'm touching once a month. My C is every 3 weeks, and my B clients are every 2 weeks, right? So that's how I categorize my people. But I know I make 20 phone calls a day or 20 touches a day with every single category. So that way, by the end of the month, I've hit my 350 people that are in my book, that are in my pipeline, right? That I'm trying to touch base with. And then my other non-negotiable would be 5 new prospects or 5 new people I've never talked to before, right? So for me, those are my timeframes. It's not scheduled the exact same time every single day because things have to shift, right? Because I get to come to these amazing meetings. Someone wants to have a meeting, my kids are sick, I have a doctor's appointment, or something comes up and I have to put out a fire with one of my staff, right? So as long as I'm doing those items every single day, whether it be at 9 o'clock in the morning, noon, 1, or even 6 o'clock at night sometimes, those are items that can never, ever, ever get dropped. Because if I do, then another title company comes in, or another realtor comes in, or it's like, oh, well, you haven't texted me or you haven't called me in 3 weeks, 6 weeks. So I wasn't sure if you're a realtor anymore, right?
You're making us all feel really guilty right now. Or is it just me?
I'm not trying, well, I'm most definitely not trying, because I'm not perfect. Like I said, there's days that do that. But so your non-negotiables are things that do not get removed from your calendar no matter what. They can shift, but they always have to be there. If you go on vacation, where do they go? Before you leave or when you get back, right? So that's what I mean by non-negotiables. Those are the things that are going to keep you employed every single day and get you business. Okay. Does anybody have any questions on that? No? You guys are so live. Come on. Energy flows, energy. Oh, and just so you know, I don't typically walk around in a Star Wars shirt, but do you guys know what today is?
No.
May the 4th be with you. Guys, come on.
Oh my God.
I know. Anyway.
That's awesome.
So determine your priorities. Why are you doing this? What is your why? What is your why every day? This job is hard. Being a real estate agent is hard. It's also really rewarding and really amazing. So at the end of the day, we have to remember, why are we doing this? Why are you working? Why are you working? What are you doing in this business? And why did you get started? That's what I always have the conversation. For me, why do I have the job I have? Because I love the fact that I get to meet people and I don't have to sit behind a desk every day. I'm not the paper person. I was an underwriter for 6 years, and I don't know how I lasted that long because I was behind a desk. But that's actually how I got into sales. Is I had an MI company at the time tell me, you really just need to just do something different because everybody wants you to be their underwriter. I'm like, because I'm nice. I actually will tell you how to make your file work, right?
Nice.
So that's what I mean by determining your priorities. What's your why? Then what's your why? Why do you do this? What's the reason why you got into real estate?
Was that a question?
Yes.
I thought I heard my name. Yeah. Why? I love people. I love helping people.
Yeah.
I love being their protector in the industry. And I love real estate.
Awesome. And what about you, Jeff?
For me, our why started with our own personal reasons for security and freedom and this and that. And it kind of evolved into we want that for other people.
Good. I love it. What about you, Tony? I see in the back. What's your why? Why do you do this?
My mom never bought a home, so I never wanted to see people that ever get in homes.
Oh, see, I love that. See, everybody has their why. So at the end of the day, when we're struggling, when we're having a day that we're like, screw this, I'm gonna go home, I'm done. What's one more thing that you can do to push you forward, right? When all fails, I always do this. You guys are gonna laugh at me, I'm a big nerd. You guys have seen Grey's Anatomy, maybe. And there's different power poses that you learn in Grey's Anatomy, which is so stupid. But I'm always like, when I'm like struggling or getting upset, And it's funny because I work in the Midvale office a lot in the Union Park area. And if you've ever worked there, you've probably seen me walking.
Pacing.
Not necessarily pacing, but when I get to the point where I'm like, I don't want to do this, I will stop driving my car, especially when you're driving around in the Union Park area. I walk to my offices, I walk to my clients. But it's a way for me to get excited about where I'm going and what I'm doing, right? So sitting down and being not lazy, because not sitting is not being lazy, but it's how you're sitting. If you're something you're doing, but what are you doing to put yourself back in a state where you want to be where you're at, right? And then when you're determining your why and when you're determining your priorities, you need to set SMART goals. Does anybody know what SMART means when you're setting a goal?
Simple.
Well, you're getting there, you're close, so close, you got it, come on.
Smart, let's see, simple, manageable.
Close.
Am I close?
Yes. Specific,
Measurable.
measurable, attainable, and realistic. So when you're setting your time and when you're doing your time blocking, it has to be specific, measurable, meaning, okay, I'm gonna call 5 people in 20 minutes. No, really, how long is it gonna take you, right? Attainable, okay, I'm gonna call 80 people today. No, that's not attainable. You can't sustain that on a regular basis. And realistic. So, oh, there's not, I forgot the T. Oh my gosh, why did I just forget what the T is?
Time frame.
Yes, thank you. Timely, timely. So that again goes back to your time management. So setting realistic things and timely, meaning I'm going to prospect for 10 hours. No, that's not going to be timely. That's not realistic, right? But always planning the time to do that. Okay. Learn to say no. This is a really hard thing for me, and I've learned over time that I have to do this. And it's been a hard thing, especially for me, because I'm a very big people pleaser, and I like to help. So I always say, well, what can I do to help? And if someone asks me and says something, and I'm like,
Oh, shit.
why did I say that? But at the end of the day, it fills my soul and I'm helped. But there's at the same time where people will call me and, hey, can you join this BNI? Hey, can you be on this call at 7:30 in the morning? No. So it's learning how to say no to things that you're really can't do, right? So who in here would say no to something? Like, give me an example of what you would say no to.
Oh, geez. Personal or in business?
Both. This whole time management is personal and business, both.
I can't even think of anything.
Okay.
That's not good.
Shane, is there something you would say no to? No to a client, no to somebody that wanted a piece of your time, that your most important time?
So usually I say no to a certain time after hours that I'm not in business. Work will be there tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
The other one would be anything that will go against my character.
Good, I love it. So those are all items that you should always say no to. And for me, I've had a hard time learning to say no. And now that I have younger kids versus older kids, I have learned to say no, because I'm like, I can't actually be to that thing where you wanted me to come at 7 o'clock at night. I'm like, I'm getting my kids ready for bed. Like, no, I can't come to that. So giving up those things and learning to walk away and be okay with not attending that realtor event or not attending that thing, or, hey, yeah, I would love to go to dinner with you girlfriends, but at the same time, I can't. How about you come to my house? We'll cook dinner so I can get my kids to bed. So if you know me, well, come to my house, because that's where I'm going to be, and that's where my comfort level is with my kids, right? Because I don't want to give up my time with my family. Okay. Minimize distractions. Cut out instant replies. Who does this? I do every day. We all do every day. You're talking to someone, you're in a meeting, and you pick up your phone because it just went off. Well, where are you supposed to be right now? In your meeting, right? Here, present, in the now. So this goes for everything, especially when you're dealing with your non-negotiables. If you are doing calls to get prospects and to get new leads, put your phone on do not disturb. So if you're using your phone like I do to send text messages, to make phone calls, put your phone on do not disturb. So that way you're not getting the instant replies when people are coming back. Because what happens? You're in a mode, you're going, and you're making your things. and someone calls you or texts you back. Well, now you've just taken yourself away from moving to the next person, right? But there's a time for that. You're still wanting to create the time frame that when you are doing your calls and you are doing your non-negotiable things, allow the time for the, okay, now I can reply, now I can follow up, now I can do this. Does that make sense? Because again, like I told you before, every time we stop what we're doing and pick up the phone or pick up or look at that email, look at this, how long does it take us to reset? 15 minutes, right? So you just cut your time in half. So focus on your one task for the hour and then give yourself another 30 to 40 minutes, depending on how many text messages or calls that you did to make sure that you're still responding. So there's a time for that as well. Does that make sense? Hold yourself accountable. If you can't hold yourself accountable, I'll be your accountability partner. I do it all day long. I have loan officers that I have 3 different loan officers that I work with that we have calls blocked and they're different times of the month. And they literally just will call me and say, I didn't do crap this week that I was supposed to. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not my problem. That's yours. How are we going to fix it? Right. But by them having to call me and tell me that they didn't do that, what do you think they're going to do? What do you think you're going to do? You're going to bust your ass. You're going to make sure that you get that done before you call me and tell me you didn't do what you did or what you were supposed to do. Because for me, it doesn't make a difference to me. It makes a difference to you. And I want to be able to help you. So if I need to be your accountability partner, I'll do it all day long. It's a 15-minute conversation and we go through things and talk about ways that we could have done different the next week. And it's been fun because they also hold me accountable too. So if you're not holding yourself accountable and if you can't, find somebody that can help you be accountable, because it just makes it that much easier and that much more willing for you to make sure you're doing what you should do, right? Use and set a timer for your tasks. I've already talked about this. Block out your time that you want for your specific things. Again, your non-negotiables, right? Cold calling, lead calling, SOI calling, whatever that looks like, make sure that you're putting that time there. And then outsource. Who outsources anything that they do in their business or personal life for that matter? What do you outsource? What do you do?
Just a lot of managerial stuff to like a personal assistant, stuff I'm not good at that they're really good at. And so the efficiency is way, way better.
Yes.
I haven't always done that, but as of late, the last year and a half has been life-changing.
Right. I love it. Anybody else? Do anybody else have anything that you outsource? So for me, this little form right here is amazing. I don't do this. There's no way. Like I have an awesome marketing assistant that she does all of my flyers, all my marketing stuff. She's not good with content. I will give her so much content, she won't know what to do with it. This is actually a minimal version of what I originally gave her. It's a condensed version. So but for me, I'm like, this is what I can't do. So outsource it. Guess what else I outsource? Who has groceries delivered? Right? So I had a hard time doing this in the beginning, but when I was pregnant with my 5-year-old, I was on bed rest for ever, it seemed. And I couldn't do those kind of things, right? So I had to figure out how to do it because I didn't have a partner at the time and my kids weren't old enough to drive. And I'm grateful that my mom is around, but she also works a graveyard shift. So during the day, it's like, what do I do? And trying to work and trying to manage and trying to be in bed rest. I'll tell you what, I have every online web marketing, every web based for grocery delivery down. Like you want to order from Harmons, I'll help you. I know how to do it. I've got it all set up. If I think you want to order from Walmart, Instacart is amazing. You can order Costco, guys. I have Costco delivered to my house through Instacart. And so it's awesome. So stuff like that, those are things that I can give up control for because I am very much a control person, but learning how to outsource.
When
It's
you're an
huge.
empty nester, you just order 1% fitness and they do all your meals.
There you
for
go, right? Exactly. So there you go. So you outsource. How many people have someone clean their house? Right? If you can't, that's okay. I don't have a maid, but I'm so grateful that I have a daughter that is 21. She's trying to earn more money. Hey mom, do you think I can clean your house? I'm like, why? She's like, well, because I know you've tried a few maids before. And I'm just so OCD and so controlling yet again. I'm that person that's like, I'll hide something. They really actually didn't clean that whole thing like they said they did. Not really, I'm not that bad. But she knows how I am, so for me, and I 100% trust her, right? Because I'm not worried they're gonna steal something. I'm not worried they're gonna go through my underwear drawer. I'm not worried as far as that goes. But those are things that you can let go, right? Let some of your stuff go. If it's not with your business, because you're so worried about building your business, what can you let go in your personal life that takes away that you can help so it doesn't take away from your time, right? Like I said, going to the grocery store. If I have to go to the grocery store now, I get so mad. I'm like, I hate going to the grocery store because it takes so much time, especially when you're packing, unpacking kids, going in, getting out, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, I can just add my stuff to the cart and just have it delivered every Saturday. It's amazing, okay? So those are things that I'm saying, outsource what you can. It doesn't have to be everything, but just think of what you can outsource. Take breaks. This is the biggest thing that I have learned, that with most of us, we don't take breaks often enough, or we take too many breaks. And I learned this the hard way. Again, I'm going to refer to when I was pregnant with my daughter, because I have a 10-year gap. I'm go all day long, right? And if a client calls me and they have to cancel lunch, well, guess what? I don't have lunch now. I'm going to keep working through my lunch. When you're pregnant, when I was pregnant, man, if I didn't eat every 2 hours, watch out, because not only was I sick, but I was also a big, you know what. So for me, I got in the habit of making sure I have snacks and things in my car that's going to help me recharge. And again, I talked about, almost blew that out of you. And again, I talked about when I need to take a break and when I need to get moving, I walk, right? When I'm on the phone with somebody, for me to stand in this wall is like really hard, because usually I'm like all over the place. I'm trying to stay here for you guys. But get moving, take your break. What does your break look like, right? And this also means, what do you do for you every day? Does anybody do anything for themselves every day?
Gym.
Workout, yeah.
Gym? Anybody else? So this is your second takeaway from this class.
Yeah.
Date night, your time. Where's your time in your day? Right? Mine is after I get the kids to bed, I take a bath every single night for 2 reasons. One, that's when I get to chill out. That's my quiet meditation time, or I listen to whatever podcast or whatever I want to be able to get down and relax. Because if I don't, I'm laying in bed doing all the 5 million things that are going through my head, right? So steps for success, just moving forward, focus on one task at a time. Quit multitasking, everyone. Leave space in your day for the unexpected. Like for when kids get sick or interruptions, or if you can't do that every day, have a flex day. Friday is typically my flex day. And the reason why I call it a flex day is because it's the day where I'm like, crap, I didn't get all the things that I needed to done, but it's still a day I have to work, meaning I have reports I have to do weekly. I have expenses I have to do. So I create Friday as my flex day for me, right? Because it's all the things I didn't get to do and make up for. And if something pops up and I need to shift, it's a flex day, so I can put it there. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Yes.
Ashley says there's some people on Zoom that want to participate that aren't able to, and have raised their hands. So I don't know if they've asked questions or if they're wanting to say something.
Oh, I don't know how to work.
Well, I looked to see if anybody on Zoom want to unmute themselves. Do you guys have questions?
I don't think it was questions. I think it's as questions were asked, people were like nodding or like raising their hands to answer the question. So I think I would say people just unmute yourself and chime in.
Well, she's on Zoom. She's like, acknowledge me. I'm right here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to include you guys.
She's in Nevada. She wants to be here.
I love it. I love it. So then the next one is keep a consistent schedule for work, family, and sleep. Who prioritizes sleep? Anybody? Me. I am one of those people. 2 things make me really grumpy in my world. Okay. Food, not lack of food, and not enough sleep. My husband now knows that if I'm asleep, do not wake me up. Because he is the opposite of me. He is a night owl and he will stay up till the crack of dawn. And I am the opposite. I like to be in bed by 10 and asleep, and I'm up at 6. For him, he sleeps until the very last second where he has to jump out of bed and put his clothes on and run out the door, right? That doesn't happen for me. Let's see, push yourself when you don't feel like working. Why do we do this, guys? Because it's just one more thing to get us to the next level, right? We can make one more phone call. We can go do one more thing to get us business, right? So when you don't want to work, I've learned that when I don't want to work or when I'm in a bad mood or I don't want to do something, the second I push myself and I go into an office where I'm comfortable and confident, or even for that matter, I don't know people very much. I came in here a few weeks ago and I loved walking in here and seeing people that I've connected with over the years. And it's just, gosh, just get you out of your thing. You're having a crappy day and you don't want to, who do you call to not sit and dwell on what's going on, but who do you call to bring you up, right? Who's your person that keeps you motivated, helps keep you going, okay? Let's see. So we already talked about taking a break. Create and use scheduling systems that work for you. My schedule is not going to work for you guys. Your schedule is not going to work for me. If I showed you my calendar, you guys would probably die. And the reason being is I have mine color coordinated a million different things, right? I have meetings, tasks, non-negotiables, personal, and whatever comes up, like birthdays or whatever else is on there. But when I first started sharing my calendar with my assistant and with my manager, she was like, I hate you. She's like, there's never any time in your schedule. I'm like, there's plenty of times in there, but you just know that if it's purple, it's personal and it's my kids. If it's red, it's a non-negotiable. Anything else inside of that can all be balanced and we can shift and move around, right?
Are you using a typical like just Google Calendar?
So we have the Exchange server. So I just use 365. So it's just Microsoft 365 and I just share my calendar with them. I'm not cool enough to have Google knowledge and all of the things. So for me, no, it doesn't work. And for you, it might not be on the calendar. It might be a handwritten calendar. Totally fine. Whatever works for you, right? But color coordinating, color coding is awesome because it makes it really easy. You can look at it and be like, oh, what was this meeting in? Oh, this is personal. Oh, this is this. Oh, this is that. Highlighters work really good. Crayons, markers, whatever you want to do as far as that goes. Do the most important thing first of the day. This is not necessarily true, but if you have something that you know is going to suck up all of your emotional space for your day, don't let it suck your entire day. If you have to call that one client that you know is going to be really hard to call because it's not a good thing, get it over with, you guys. Move on, get it on, get over it. Keep going, right? Because the longer you wait, the more it's going to suck your day and you're going to find yourself not doing anything but thinking about it. Move on, get it done, okay? Be realistic in how long it takes to do your tasks. Allow drive time and breaks. This is the number one thing I learned the hard way. It didn't really come into plan for a while of the drive time. I knew I had to be there at 11, but how long did it take me to get from my house to here and make sure I returned that one phone call before I got in, right? So allow that in your time. So when I book my meetings, especially like this, I booked my time out from 10 to 1. I'm not necessarily going to be here from 10 to 1. But I know that I have got to get prepared. I had to make sure I had all these printed. I had to make sure I had this. I had to make sure I had all that. Drive here, make my 3 phone calls that I needed to before I was done, and then do this class. And when I'm done, I also have to return my emails, my phone calls, all those things. So when you're booking your time, make sure you're allowing all of that. Does that make sense? And be willing to adjust your calendar as needed. And the reason why we do this is because there's stuff comes up, right? Things come up. Just be willing to do it. If it's on there, if it's a non-negotiable, and again, I've told you this 100 times, you can move it, but just make sure you get it done at the end of the week or whatever. Because it's a lot easier to call 5 people a day or 15 people a day than it is to call 100 a day, right? And then the most important thing that it's actually not on here is bookending your day. What do you do in the morning to start your day, and what do you do in the day to end your day? So that way you don't come home with work. You don't go to bed with work. You're leaving your stress where? Here, right? Or at the office, whatever. So who bookends their day? Anybody? No. Okay, well, what do you do in the morning to start your day, and what do you do in the day to end your day?
So I'll use journal that's called Festival, and then goals for the day. my lessons at the end of the day.
I love it. So you're just closing your day. You're like, this is what was good, this is what was bad. Okay, I'm done. I can move on.
Lessons, not failures, but lessons.
Yes.
And then put down just whatever notes I've got to, and then plan for the next day, and so that I can just be present.
Awesome. I love it.
What is it called?
Best self.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you for sharing. So if you guys don't have a plan, if you guys don't have something that you're doing right now, what I would suggest if you don't have a calendar and you don't have something that you're doing currently, just get a notepad. I mean, I brought a bunch of notepads and write what you're doing during the day. So that way you can actually be like, gosh, I spent a lot of time on Facebook today, which there's nothing wrong with, right? Because I get business from Facebook. I market on Facebook. I get people, I tag people, I like people, I market that way. You guys probably do as well. That's okay, but minimize your time. So if you find yourself, oh my gosh, I was on Facebook for 4 hours today. Were you being productive or were you not being productive? So it's all about being intentional on what you're doing, okay? So what I do to bookend my days is when I get up, I have to make sure that I'm ready before my babies wake up. If I don't, then it takes me 2 hours to get out the door. So I make sure I'm up, I'm ready, and I'm listening to my podcast or whatever it is, or my book, because we do a book club at work. I'm listening to that in the morning because that's the only time I get that allows me to do those kind of things. I don't have time to sit down and read books, so Audible is really good and big for me. And then again, at the end of the day, I already told you guys, what do I do at the end of the day for me, that's my me time. Take a bath, right? And that's for me because it's me winding down. It's me just thinking about as one of the most cleansing, reassuring things that you can do for your body. People don't love it. Other people love it, just depends on what you want to do, right? But whatever it is for you with meditation, yoga, whatever, I don't care, but just figure out what you're doing to start your day and end your day. You guys have any questions? I'm just rambling and throwing so much at you.
It's all good stuff. Anybody on Zoom want to chime in? Questions, comments?
I have a question.
Yes.
When you do your planning for your calendar, do you do that every Sunday night? Do you do it the night before? How do you choose what you're going to put on your calendar and when do you do it?
So I do things in several formats. So like we have season tickets to USANA for concert tickets. I know when those are, those get plugged in there, right? I know when my kids, so as soon as I get something that I have that's family based, goes in my calendar first. And I usually make my calendar 2 weeks in a row or 2 weeks at a time when it comes to business. So if I call you or you wanted to call me and we wanted to set up a lunch or set up a meeting, I'm usually 2 weeks out, meaning I do that on purpose because I want to make sure that I'm filling the most of my day. But then again, I have my flex day where I can put things in. So I don't adjust my calendar every single day, if that's what you're asking, no. But I do know that I have my non-negotiables on there every single day and every single week. And I follow those and then everything else falls into play. So when I'm doing my cold calls or prospecting to get new agents or new clients or new meetings, I have my next 2 weeks that are open and available. And I try to strategically put most of my appointments on the same dates. So it kind of varies and it kind of goes in flex as far as that goes. Does that help? Did that answer your question? Okay. Anybody
Yeah, no,
else?
that's super helpful. What about like the smaller tasks, like, you know, little daily tasks? Do you put all those on your calendar or do you have like just a bigger time block where you're like, oh, this is when I'm going to work on my admin stuff?
No, so I have monthly things that I have that are my big tasks, like my expense report, my mileage report, my closed sale reports, those kind of things. That like is a one big task day that I set aside literally one day that month and I'm doing all of the crap, right? I'm sitting down and doing that. It's not necessarily all the crap, but it's the same, but it's when I sit down and write my thank you cards, my birthday cards, all that kind of things. But the small tasks, they just kind of go in between whenever you have free time, because you want to make sure that you're having free time in your day somewhere. You don't necessarily need to have hours of free time, but like I said, I just told you guys how I booked out this meeting from 10 to 1. I mean, we may be done at 12, but I'm going to still do stuff I need to get done, and that would be falling into small tasks. Does that make sense? For some people, if it's not on their calendar, it doesn't exist. So if you have to put that on in order to make sure you get it done, that's fine. But for me, I don't need that. I don't need to do that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Just like my, oh yes. And just like my kids' nightly routine, like I have a routine with my kids. They like, no, okay, got dinner, bath, teeth, like all the things, story time. So they're to the point where they know But my nighttime routine is not anywhere in my schedule because when you're dealing with the 3-year-old, 5-year-old, 21-year-old and everybody in between, there's room for adjustments. Like if the kids don't go to bed at night, it's not going to be the end of the world, right? So does that make sense? Does that help? Okay. Any more questions, you guys?
Well done.
Thank you. I'm like, you guys are so lively. Come on, am I gonna get up or something?
I'm just realizing how much I have to work on.
Well, so like I said, I typically do this more on a one-on-one basis. So if you guys want to get together and sit down and do a more one-on-one basis, I am happy to do that. Call me, email, text me, Facebook me, whatever you want to do. I will gladly 100% sit down with you and talk to you guys about things because we all have to start somewhere. And what I do, like I said, it's not necessarily going to work for you. What you do doesn't necessarily work for me, but I'm happy to share with you different bits and pieces of how I can help you put things in your day. Because the first thing I'll ask you is, again, where do you have date night? Where do you do this? And then where does everything fall into play? And the best thing you can do is if you don't have something, start writing down what you're doing during the day and you'll be surprised at what you spend your time on. Okay.
That's awesome. How else can they connect with you? I mean, we're with Fidelity on the title end too, right?
Yes.
This is great for personal development.
Yes.
You've got a lot of great marketing stuff and things like that. So what other reasons might they want to reach out and connect with you?
And just like you said, like I'm here, literally my job is sales and marketing. I hate that term because I don't do anything with the marketing, meaning this is not my forte. And if you call me and ask me how many phone calls do I have to make to get a deal, I'll be like, I don't know. Right. But what I do know is I do know how to make connections and I do know how to help in business because I am 100% relationship oriented, just like you are, right? So for me, my job and what I love to do is I love to help you individually, right? Title and escrow is amazing. That's boring, right? Title and escrow helps you guys get your job done, but my goal is to become your partner. What makes you tick? What helps you? What's going to help you? Whether it be you need an accountability partner, somebody that can help you with your mindset, somebody that can help you with your goals. So that's what I do. In addition to having amazing escrow officers, and amazing staff that takes care of all the other things that you do, right? So that's what my goal is, and that's what I love to specialize in is helping you and becoming your true partner. Right?
Braundie, can you
Yes.
hear me?
I'm like, I don't know where that's coming from. Do I look here or there?
It's Sammy. I just wanted to say thank you for that.
Hi, Sammy.
Hi. And I love your shirt. I know how much your husband loves Star Wars.
I know. Don't you love it? He is very proud that I wore it today.
I'm sure.
So really at the end of the day, we are Fidelity National. We will be Fidelity National Title. What that means is we actually are national now. So you guys probably are not licensed in dual states. Tony may be, may not be, depending on that. So it's really good for my loan officers that I work with because I've actually been able to start doing business out of state, which is awesome. But by becoming Fidelity, we actually have some really cool technology and really cool apps. If you guys follow me on Facebook, any and all the marketing material that I have been posting with flyers, rent versus buy, anything as far as that goes, that is all coming from my app and my technology that I have. It's all there and at your fingertips, as long as you're downloading my app and working. Does that make sense? Or if you can take it and share it. Funny, I had one app or one that I posted, and it's funny because I have been noticing it popping up. I'm like, my flyer. Took my information off my flyer and put theirs on it, which is fine because that's the goal. So it means that it's really good content. So, I mean, I would love to get in front of any and every single one of you in here to share with you what I really can do and how I can help you and why I set myself apart differently than every other company.
So I see that we've got Washington and Oregon on Zoom.
Oh,
So
yay.
are those states? that you can-
Yeah. So I can do any and all states.
Awesome.
And I have one escrow officer that does it all. So he's licensed in anywhere and he sources out to all different places. So the nice thing about that is when we first started, I was trying to find a location and try to make it work. I'm like, this is too hard. And then I found out that I actually have one escrow officer that will be who you would work with on any out of state deal. Okay.
Your Facebook marketing, is that on your business Facebook page?
My personal. Well, so I have two pages. I have just Braundie Parry and I post to both. And the reason why I have two pages is a long story. I worked for a company, a different title company a while back, and I did some side hustle stuff, right? Like to get some extra money. And she didn't like the fact that I was marketing on my page and my realtors were on my page. So she thought it was a conflict of interest. So I created it's now Braundie at Vanguard title page. So, but I posted both pages. You can friend me on either. If you're not, I don't care. They both have the same content. No matter one might have more personal, I don't know, but they're both there. So, okay. I appreciate your guys' time, and it looks like Josh is here with lunch.
Thanks,
Yay.
Braundie. Hey guys, you stay on Zoom just for a minute. We actually have a sponsor in-house, Josh Cavalier with Silverback Home Warranty. He's going to come up and tell us a little bit about himself. And I love it when they bring baskets, because that means there's drawings or something.
Yeah.
Or giveaway stuff.
Well, just free stuff. You don't have to win. You just
Awesome.
get it.
So Josh, tell us about what you do.
Awesome. Well, I'm sorry for you that are in Oregon and Washington and where else. We don't currently service there, but we'd love to chat and see how we can expand there. So I'm Josh with Silverback Home Warranty. I know a few familiar faces. I want to chat with you guys. How much time do I have? About 5 minutes?
5, 10.
Okay, awesome. I was getting nervous when I have about like 10 minutes because usually I only get to speak for like 2 or 3. So I have to come up with stuff, but I've got plenty of stuff I can talk about. So obviously there's quite a few players in the home warranty business. There's a lot here in Utah. We actually have more home warranty companies in Utah than any other state. So great for us. But there's a few things that we do that really separate us. Along what Braundie had mentioned, we do a lot with agents to impact your business. We're a vendor that doesn't just want to get referrals, but also wants to be impactful and give back. I door knock with agents. I'm pretty good at it and I enjoy it. I know that's kind of weird. Not everybody likes to door knock, but I'm a fan of it. I really like to get out. It gets you in front of people. And if nothing else, a lot of those scripts and those conversations you can use while you're doing phone calls. So, and our owner, Jason Cook, he does a lot of Facebook marketing as well. He can sit down with you and get your Facebook page up to speed and everything. But as far as the home warranty space, I will send some of these this way and then a few this way. If you guys don't mind passing this back that way. So we do both buyer and listing coverage. We feel it's really important to cover on both sides of the transaction because you guys don't work with just buyers, right? You also work with sellers. So we offer the free listing coverage. It's free to your clients. We have a PDF that we can co-brand for you that you can put in your listing packets. That QR code you can scan, it'll just take you to our website.
Well, and it has this on it?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna try something. You guys that don't have this handout, you wanna see if you can grab that? 3, 2, 1, time's up.
Fancy. That's sweet. So it's free to your clients. We have the PDF that you can put in your listing packet. So it's an extra value add to your clients when you're presenting. And again, it's free to them. We cover from listed, active on the MLS through the closing of the contract. We can transfer that to the buyer if there's one included in the sale. If not, we will reach out to the buyer's agent to see if their buyers want to purchase one outside of the closing. As far as buyer's coverage, the 3 plans that are on the pamphlet are $400, $500, and $600. Our top plan comes with a free rekey, which not only is that nice, but we also think it's actually really important because we've had plenty of calls where buyers have gotten into a home and a seller has tried to get back into the house and we've rekeyed it, and luckily they don't have a key that accesses the house. I see some smiles, maybe some others have experienced that. We've also had a situation where title closed and the guy called me and said, hey, the sellers don't have the keys, they didn't leave them, they're out of state now. And we got somebody out same day so the buyers could move into the house. So not only is it nice to have that as a free service, but we also feel that it's really important for clients. We also are doing monthly plans. So with the way the market is right now, sometimes we're not able to get them in the rep C in the closing. So we're able to do policies outside of the real estate transaction, and we can do monthly plans. So just $50 a month, they can still get in it. Obviously, if they're paying over appraisal price and getting into the house, they don't necessarily have $500-600 to come out of pocket right now, but it's a little softer blow if you're doing $50 a month. So know that that's available to your clients as well to do a monthly plan. We do new construction. And I'm just going through all of our products and then I can dive into some other things, but we do new construction. So it covers years 2 through 4. I know that's a big part of our market right now. is new construction. So the builder's gonna do year 1. We'll do years 2 through 4. On the pamphlet, it's our $400 plan of coverage. It's just $525 for single family and $500 for condo townhomes, and that covers them for all 3 years. So it's really cheap. It's nice. We can also help them communicate with the manufacturer on their appliance claims as well. So if there's anything that's not under the coverage, but they need help getting a hold of a manufacturer, we can take care of them. And then if any of you work with investors, we also have Duplex, Triplex, and Fourplex plans. They're not on this sheet, but there's, I remember my name, $795, $895, and $995 respectively. And it's our black back coverage as well. So that's nice because they don't have to buy a full policy for each unit. It's cheaper. And it's great for investors that are buying those properties. If you have a 10-plex or a 20-plex, we've done those before as well, so we can make a custom plan for them. Heck, we did an assisted living home a couple months ago. So if people are living in it, we can come up with a plan to cover it for you. So know that that's available. And that's one thing that we pride ourselves on is not every home, not every client is a cookie cutter. So where we try to give options to clients as opposed to trying to fit them into one box. So any questions so far? Home warranties? I know it's like a really exciting topic.
It's exciting in the title.
It's so exciting. No questions?
I have a question.
Okay, well,
We got one online, Josh.
Oh, question?
Yes, I have a question. I'm Kathy Ray from Spokane, Washington. Hi.
Kathy?
I'm sorry, but did you say you were with Fidelity Home Warranty?
I'm not. I'm with Silverback Home Warranty. We're a local company here in Utah.
Okay. I thought maybe you were.
Kathy, Fidelity National's the title company that Braundie's with.
Right, okay. I was just gonna
Yeah.
say, because I have Fidelity Home Warranty and I've been very happy with them when I was a purchaser 4 years ago. And anyway, what you have
Awesome.
is awesome too. I'm just wondering, I thought you were with. I was just gonna
Well, I'm
give-
glad you got a good product. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Last thing I'll share, I've got these coupons. So on our $400 and $500 plan, it doesn't come with that free rekey, but I've got these coupons. You can put your name on there. It's from you, the realtor, give it to them at closing. Say, hey, go get your house rekeyed. It's on me. So even if they only have the $400 or $500 in the rep C, we can still give them great coverage and they can still get their house rekeyed and you look good in front of your clients. So any other questions, thoughts? I've got my business cards that I'll leave out for you. So if you want to chat, ask me questions. I love getting sent through the ringer as far as what we cover and what we don't. And we cover all of Utah as well. So if you're doing transactions down in St. George, we're not limited here just to the Wasatch Front. So we do up to Summit County, Cache County, all the way down to St. George. So we would love to be able to work with you. And I appreciate you letting me come in.
Thanks for coming. That's awesome.
I've got these cool little phone holders. So it's a phone holder / stress ball. So if you have a frustrating call, then you can put your phone in there. Isn't that pretty sweet? You just can't throw them at each other. So anyways.
Well, that's not any fun.
Thanks, guys. I'm gonna cut you guys loose on Zoom. Thanks for coming. Appreciate you. Love you guys.